What's up, Trojans? Alright, not gonna lie. Pretty disappointed about this one. One, because I couldn't watch the game. Two, because the Giants lost big to someone that they probably should have beaten. I thought this game would have gone a lot like the Texans game. It did not. I kind of am wondering if Dallas had something to do with it. You have Dallas on Thursday. You probably think that's a bigger game. Maybe you try to mix in some game planning for that in between. I don't know. I don't think the game planning may have necessarily gotten mixed up, but you got to wonder if some players, like I'm not saying the head coach was like, all right, we're going to skip Friday and Saturday, focus on Dallas those days right before Detroit. Like, I don't think that necessarily happened. But, as a player, you're like, oh, Dallas is coming up. Maybe instead of watching like 3 hours of film on the Lions, I'll do like an hour of film on the Lions and like two hours on Dallas since I'll have less time next week. Something like that might happen. Who knows? But I don't want to blame anything like that. Lions, from what I can tell, played a tough game. As always, bad calls, whatever. It did not affect the outcome of the game the way it played out. Just some bad decision-making. Some just huge mistakes all around. Jones had a lot of passing yards today, but those 2 interceptions is horrible. I mean, you'd rather have only 100 yards but no interceptions. It probably would have helped this team a lot more. But a lot just did not go right today. The ground game, the run game, not looking good at all. I mean, Saquon could go nowhere today. I was trying to follow the game, even though I couldn't watch it. But, yeah, it sucks that Saquon couldn't get going. Jones, probably did everything he could, but those 2 interceptions, you can't have that. And one of them was really bad, backed up, and just throws a pick. I mean, that was like 2021 or 2020 Daniel Jones with an awful interception like that. You just can't have that. That's the stuff that costs games. Gano couldn't hit an extra point. I mean, whatever, again, didn't have much of an effect on the game. It would have been, with all the extra points, it would have been a 31-21 game. Whoop-de-doo. Just defense couldn't get much going. Normally the defense or special teams, somehow someone in there is able to force a turnover. That didn't happen today. But, even in how bad this game turned out, you had Wan'Dale Robinson with 100 yards. And unfortunately, he got a really bad injury, so that might be his last 100-yard game of the season and his first. So, there's some good things too. So Darius Slayton still continued to look good today. I have it right here: 5 receptions, 86 yards. Richie James got himself a touchdown. He's been a fairly decent receiver this season. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a lot of looks since the beginning of the season, because he was looking really good then. Hodgins still able to step in and contribute a little bit, for some guy coming out of nowhere off the practice squad. You take what you can get from that. The most surprising thing, though, from this game, Kenny Golladay actually caught the ball, guys. Oh, isn't everybody excited? Kenny Golladay finally decided to catch the ball twice today. Pretty much a miracle, if you ask me. Pretty bad game all around. There were some good moments. Obviously, there's some decent stats up there. But Giants got beat today. Too many mistakes. A lot of bad decision-making, like I said earlier, with some of the calls made. Obviously, Jones had to make some bad decisions, throw some interceptions. But some of the play calls, for example, there's a 3rd and 5, right? Giants just decided to run it up the middle. Saquon's been stopped all game. I don't know why they thought a run up the middle would be any different on a 3rd and 5. What? Like, RPO something there, anything? Figure something out. Well, at least Jones was able to run a little bit today, got the touchdown. It seemed to work early in the game. I don't know if they preemptively tried to move away from that. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting some stuff wrong here. All I have were stats that are popping up as the game's going on. I tried to follow it best I could, even though I couldn't watch it. The thing I used to watch it just decided not to work for me today. have no idea what it was. Hopefully that'll get fixed in the future. I mean, Dallas Thanksgiving, that's a primetime game, so be able to watch that one for sure. And then that gives me a week and a half to 2 weeks from now pretty much, to get things figured out. Tough game. That's all my recap of the game is. Some stuff happened last week though. The Giants announced that they're going to change the turf. It's actually huge news, because the turf has taken freaking so many good seasons over the years from people. It's really bad. I don't know how the NFL ever allowed the Giants to have turf that bad. Everyone's complained about it. Every time anyone steps foot on it, they're like, this doesn't feel right. And it never got changed. I don't know why all of a sudden this season they're finally changing it. Well, I'll tell you why. Both the Jets and the Giants are actually doing good. And they're like, yeah, maybe it's in our interest not to injure our own players. Just the thought occurred to us. I mean, I don't think it's solely the turf that's causing the Giants injuries. You saw like Adoree Jackson today got injured. That's just bad management. You don't put your best corner as a punt returner, and he's injury prone. It's Adoree Jackson, right? He's been able to mostly avoid injuries, long-term injuries for the Giants, which I'm thankful for. But I mean, you put him in situations like that, bad things are much more likely to happen. And unfortunately, that hit us today. Giants just really unlucky with these injuries. But today, they were classically just outgunned. Lions played a better game. I don't want to say outgunned. I mean, Giants could have easily beaten the Lions, but Lions played a better game. Too many mistakes by the Giants. Go out there, get them next week. 7-3 is not the worst thing in the world. The Eagles, though, unfortunately, were able to win a close one against the Colts. Freaking Colts honestly should have won that one. Hopefully the Vikings are able to do their job against Dallas. And honestly, the Commanders are kind of catching up in sort of the wins column. But they've played 11 games. The Giants have only played 10. So they're really like 2 games behind. So hopefully the Giants are able to just take advantage of them in the 2 games we play them. If you can 2-0 against the Commanders there, that's a lock for the playoffs for the Giants. I mean, they would have to lose every single other game, which with the way they played today, yeah, they would. But hopefully, an in-division matchup against Dallas coming up, Giants are able to find a way to get that one. Hopefully you can beat up on Washington, pick one off with the Eagles, and even beat a team like the Colts down the stretch. That should do it for the Giants. I think the Giants can still hit 10 wins. I had them at the 7 wins to start the season, so the fact that they're already there is pretty cool. Even if this game was very disappointing. The other bit of news was Kadarius Toney has been pretty good for the Chiefs. Good for him. No, I mean the Kadarius Toney Giants matchup just did not seem to be a thing. Really felt like the beginning of last season. It just was not going to work out here. I mean, how are you going to have your first-round wide receiver be a healthy scratch in a couple games in a row? And then he pops onto the scene, looks really great, and then does nothing for the rest of the season last year. I mean, it was the Falcons, the Saints, and the Dallas game last season. He looked like a number 1 wide receiver 3 games in a row. Looks great. I think he got suspended after the Dallas game, and then just nothing. You see nothing. I think he got injured for the rest of the season there too. And then this season, he has 1 decent game, and you're like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this again, right? And he gets injured, and then he was healthy but not playing because the Giants wanted to trade him. Fair enough, honestly. Again, not a match here. You had him not show up to voluntary minicamp, which, yeah, no big deal. It's voluntary, but there was a weird thing of it being like, yeah, he just didn't feel like going, or if it was he had a thing. People tried to say he had a thing, but I don't know what the thing was. I mean, you don't have to say, like, personal stuff, whatever. But you got to come out. You got to start with, yeah, I have a thing. And it's like, okay. You just be like, yeah, I got a thing. I don't want to say what it is. Okay, we got it. But if it didn't come out for, like, weeks when that happened. Right? Like, he was gone for, like, 2 weeks. No one knew where he was. And then, like, he just shows up to camp and was like, yeah, I had a thing. Like, just, okay, do a Xavier McKinney. Like, just post that, hey, this happened. I'm going to be out. That's all you got to do. Everyone was kind of okay with that. Xavier McKinney was out with an injury. And honestly, I'm going to use Xavier McKinney today. This one hurts. But, you got to get on top of this stuff as a Giant. And Kadarius Toney was not built to be a New York Giant. Looks great on the Chiefs. I was listening to the New Heights podcast, and Kelsey was like, why did the Giants let this guy go? It's like, well, that right there is why. Not a match for the Giants. Seems like a great match for the Chiefs. Hope he has a great time over there. Seems like he is. And then last week, there was also Joe Judge, former Giants head coach, decided to come out. Or not, no, he did this after he got fired. And someone decided to release the tapes of Joe Judge basically just praising Daniel Jones, which, that's not a secret. So I don't know why he decided to release those tapes now, like it was the biggest thing ever. Like, I'll drop this now. It's like, but yeah, it was just Joe Judge praising Daniel Jones, his work ethic and everything, although he didn't look good under him. And honestly, the big reason Daniel Jones didn't look good under Joe Judge is because Joe Judge was not a good head coach. I don't think Joe Judge was a bad person, just not a good Giants head coach. These things happen. All right. Anyway, running a little long here. I want to keep it about this length. I could talk about the Giants for ages. Tough loss this week. Hopefully going up against Dallas. Giants be able to figure out a win on that one. I probably won't be able to get a video up right away. It's during Thanksgiving. I'm going to be occupied doing Thanksgiving stuff. So I'll get that one up Friday, Saturday, or Sunday maybe. I don't know. It won't be on Thanksgiving. I'll be watching that game. There's no way. I'm not relying on some freaking very specific app to work for me to watch that game. There's several streaming, there's several ways to watch TV, pretty much. It's a primetime game. Should be able to watch that one, no problems. Hopefully, Giants are able to pull out a win against Dallas. Dallas looks like a pretty decent team, but they're not invincible. Giants, up to this point, have looked like a decent team, able to, pull out wins, even though they've made mistakes. This one, the mistakes got the best of them. You just can't have games like this. But unfortunately, Giants, no matter who's at the head, they seem to always find a game like this. It just happens. Every once in a while, the Giants could be freaking 14-0, and they would have a game like this to make themselves 14-1. The Giants are a team that would do that. Hate to see it, but whatever, it's all good. We'll get them next week, and the week after, and the week after that. Giants will be back. I'm not too worried. All right. I'll be back, too. Like I said, next week. I'll be back as well. See you guys in the next one.